Since Trump won last week, the most common retort response I am getting on YouTube and TikTok videos and on my Facebook posts and on X, coming from Democrats who are angry about the results, is, I hope you get what you voted for. And I'm like, me too. Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. I appreciate you being here, whether this is the first time you've come to my channel or you are a returning supporter. Please be sure to hit that thumbs up button, make sure that you are subscribed, and make sure that your notifications are turned on so that you never miss out on a conversation like the one we're about to have. So Trump is already gearing up to take the White House again, and when he said, "Make America great again," he meant make America great again. We have had enough of gender ideology being pushed from the top down, with men parading around in dresses as if this is the new normal. We've had enough of our money being used to help everybody else on planet Earth besides our own citizens, while we watch inflation go up, the cost of goods and housing go up, at least in part due to the fact that we seem to have accepted wasteful government spending as a normal way for things to function. We're tired of parents being attacked for not wanting our young kids to be sexualized in school and for being against making drag queens a normal part of children's entertainment. We're tired of the rest of the world not taking our country seriously and starting wars and conflicts all over the place because they know not only will the US not do anything, but we can't do anything because we're more concerned with teaching our military about sexuality than strategy. And since voting solely based on the issue of killing the unborn was not going to address any of these issues, we voted for someone who has a track record of making all of these things functional and successful, but because he has also tightened up his alliances and is now forming a team of no-nonsense leaders who are actually interested in fixing what's broken and fostering success for the US. Liberals say, "I hope that you get everything you voted for." My response is, so do I. So one of the first announcements that hit social media as part of Trump's cabinet was asking Susie Wiles to fill the position of chief of staff, which for all of my liberal friends who are under the false impression that Trump hates women and wants to put us all back into the kitchen, this is the first time in American history that a woman has been appointed to this role. And while she seems to look like somebody's sweet grandmother who bakes bread and sends your kids Christmas cards full of cash, we all know that grandmothers tend to have a very spicy and feisty side, and she's about the last person you'd want to mess with in her family. As much as feminist women like to whine about the patriarchy and being oppressed by men, it's honestly a lot of times the matriarchy that holds a lot of power. And when her soul is rooted in goodness and strength, she can steer men in a direction of strength and protection for everybody. Next up, of course, we have to talk about the new border czar, Tom Homan. And this position is obviously going to be immeasurably significant. This is one of the biggest crises in our country right now. And even people who voted for sanctuary cities because they bought the lie that letting people come here and bypass our vetting process and just start housing them with no plan to integrate them into society or make sure that they could actually take care of themselves or to ensure that they are actually a family unit before just setting them up in a hotel and giving them cash and telling ICE and law enforcement that they can't do anything about it. A lot of them are now realizing how much they were lied to, and that if we don't fix this problem that has been caused by the current administration that has been in the White House for the last 4 years and fix it fast, the disaster, the crime, the strain on our resources, the danger that this has caused is going to be seen on a national level, and it's going to become impossible to reverse. We need somebody in there who understands the dangers of the open border policies that have been fostered by the Biden-Harris administration and has seen firsthand the horrors that have been inflicted on women and children over the last several years as the Mexican cartels have been able to run rampant, and that this person in this role is going to be a driving force of protection over innocent people to make this system safe and secure again.
You know what happens to these children, Sean. Look, the illegal aliens coming across the border, people need to understand 31% of women that make that journey get raped by criminal cartels. Children get raped. I've talked to little girls as young as 9 that have been raped multiple times. These cartels are animals, and that's why President Trump's going to take them off the face of the earth. They have killed more Americans than every terrorist organization in the world, and President Trump is committed to calling them terrorist organization and using the full might of the United States Special Operations to take them out.
Anybody who says that they care about women's rights or about the safety of children will get behind this man and support the measures that they take to correct this absolutely horrendous and despicable problem that, again, has been created by the soulless president and vice president that have been at the head of this country since 2021. And you will stop believing the lie that their border bill was the solution to this problem. As in reality, it was a means of expediting this crap and making it possible to happen at a higher level and at a faster pace. Legal immigration makes everybody safer. I think it's safe to say that Pete Hegseth has been one of people's favorite Trump picks, as he has been asked to be the Secretary of Defense. What's been really funny is to see the state-run propagandist media try to minimize this man's accomplishments and credentials as just being a Fox News anchor. Never mind the irony of them wanting us to vote for Kamala Harris for the President of the United States just based on the fact that she's a non-white woman. But here's just a little bit of a dose of the delusion they are already trying to spread about this man.
And the suggestion that the Department of Defense should be led by the host of Fox and Friends on weekends as his main contribution to society is scary to our soldiers who need the best and brightest at the helm.
And if you're still somebody who listens to The View and takes them seriously, there's a dose of Whoopi Goldberg's narrative about Pete Hegseth.
This the guy who's qualified to make decisions about the most powerful military in the world, who clearly does not know anything about the military.
You know, and also I feel insulted. I'm a morning TV host, and I've been here the longest.
Yes.
Where's my ambassadorship to Italy, Donald? Was it something I said?
And in response to this utter idiocy, Charlie Kirk posted, Pete Hegseth isn't a TV host. He's a decorated military leader and an all-American badass who became a TV host. He's a Princeton and Harvard grad too. Would you prefer an overweight DEI pick like Lloyd Austin, who is hospitalized in secret, or Mark Milley, who is focused on white rage and back-channeling with the CCP? Pete is exactly who you want running the DoD. Unlike these mopes running our military, he's commanded a battalion and took enemy fire. He lost friends. He sacrificed for this nation. The more they resist, the more you should support him. And just another post by a guy named John Cremines. He says, Trump's pick for Secretary of Defense. While the left lose their mind over this pick, listen to what he represents. Pete Hegseth is a 20-year military veteran, a decorated combat veteran, a recipient of the Bronze Star twice, and graduated from both Harvard and Princeton. Great choice. Now, obviously, the facts of the matter aren't going to stop the woke media from screeching about him and trying to discredit him as much as possible. Honestly, you would think that people who went on and on about Trump's supposed disrespect for men and women in uniform and wanting to make sure that the people who serve our country receive the utmost respect, because supposedly that's something they care about, they would want to make sure that everybody knows about all of this man's service to our nation. No. Because the things that the Democrats want you to be mad about aren't because they're actually mad about them or because they believe their own words. They just have to create any narrative that goes against Trump and the right. Anything goes. Make no mistake, this man knows our military. He loves our country, and he wants America to be safe, protected, and respected again. Now, obviously, there is a really long list of Trump picks that we could go into, but I just want to name a few more that I'm just particularly excited about. I love the creation of the Department of Government Efficiency, also known as DOGE, which will be led by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. If we want to talk about inflation and our quality of life going down while our taxes are going up, yet we don't seem to be getting a whole lot out of it, then we need to look directly at our government and hold them accountable for taking money from us and never being held accountable for how they use it. In my opinion, we have gotten far too used to our taxes going up and having more taken out of our paychecks, and also feeling powerless when those in charge decide how they're going to use it. And they know they can do it because far too often we just take their word for it that they need this money and that they're going to use it for our good. The national debt has gone up by trillions, especially since COVID, and it has got to stop. So Trump is getting Vivek and Elon in there, giving them the job of cutting wasteful spending, slimming down agencies, and even cutting agencies that are not doing the job that they are supposed to be doing. Just to get an idea of how out of control this spending has gotten behind our backs, this is a great clip by Jesse Waters. Have a listen.
Fed spent $500,000 on a study to see if selfies make you happy. $1 million went to study if Japanese quail were more frisky if you gave them cocaine. The Fed spent 20 grand on drag shows in Ecuador, 80,000 in Ghana, asking taxi drivers if climate change makes it harder for them to drive. And $500,000 was spent so Fauci could create transgender monkeys. But it's not just waste. There's 3 million federal employees, and a lot of them don't even do much more than collect a paycheck. Most government workers in D.C. are still working from home. COVID's been over for 3 years. But worst of all, $500 billion a year stolen by fraudsters. We lose $500 billion of your money to fraud each year. We're getting ripped off like a Walgreens in San Francisco, and no one cares. We're not even locking up our toothpaste. Trump's about to put armed security guards, Musk and Vivek, in the aisles and catch the shoplifters. But Democrats, no, don't like that. They want the fraud, pork, and work from home.
Elon Musk is going to fail miserably at the homework assignment Donald Trump has given him.
At SpaceX, they've blown up a lot of rockets to get to where they are. I'm not so sure you can blow up things in the federal government quite as easily.
It's the Department of Government Efficiency, and they've got two guys running it,
Yes.
Vivek and Elon. That doesn't sound so efficient.
Elon and Vivek are fighting fraud and cutting waste, and the Democrats are against it. Because why? They work for Trump? Because they're Democrats and they have to be against everything Republicans do? So stupid.
I think Jesse makes an excellent point there. And this is a question I have had countless times over the last several years. It's why are you against some of these things? Cutting wasteful spending should be a unifying message for everybody. Nobody wants to waste money on things that are not serving them, especially when it comes to the government, and that is the government's sole purpose. It just goes to show how much of the media narrative is solely based on hating Trump and opposing the right, even if there is absolutely no good reason to do so. So when you ask yourself how this country got so divided, it's not because of Trump, it's because of these people. It's not just about that department, it's about restoring transparency. And I believe that was something that even Biden himself ran on in 2020, even though transparency is the opposite of what we have gotten from this administration. But Elon Musk posted this. He says all actions of the Department of Government Efficiency will be posted online for maximum transparency. Anytime the public thinks we are cutting something important or not cutting something wasteful, just let us know. We will also have a leaderboard for most insanely dumb spending of your tax dollars. This will be both extremely tragic and extremely entertaining. So again, as liberals are crying into their cameras and telling us that they hope we get what we voted for, I hope so too. And I hope you get what we voted for: a secure border, a thriving economy, lower taxes, smaller government, a safe nation, and leadership that prioritizes American citizens, that puts America first. I did not just vote for Trump. I voted for this team of people, for Americans who love this country, who represent our strengths, and who show up in a room of world leaders and will not be walked all over, as we have been again in the last several years. I know that there are so many on the left who will continue to believe what the media tells them, and for some reason will think that we had the strength that I just described while we were being led in the White House by a dementia patient and a woman who felt that her greatest asset was her skin color, and that empowerment comes from killing our unborn children. There's not a lot we can do about it. A lot of these people are too far gone, and even as their lives improve, as long as they're listening to the media, they will believe that things are bad. I mean, as we watched our country go downhill at record speed, they were told things were great and they believed that. Just saying, pray for these people. Thankfully, overall, America is made up of sane people who want our country to be strong and taken care of, so that we don't have to worry constantly about what's happening in Washington, D.C., that we can focus on other things once in a while and feel more safe and at peace. I know there are other Trump appointments that I did not mention in this video. Please drop them in the comments below, and also let me know your thoughts on the people that he has selected for these positions, because there are some that I really like, the ones I just mentioned, and other ones that I have questions about, like Marco Rubio and Kristi Noem. But we'll see how that pans out. Love to hear your thoughts. Leave them in the comments below. Please be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Make sure that you are subscribed. If you want to support my channel further, there are other ways to do so listed in the description box, like hitting the Buy Me a Coffee link, and all donations go to help me create more content and better content that I can bring to you. Keep it real, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.